Ever wake up and it's like, bam, the color just drained out of everything.
Yeah.
You know, thing that used to get you going, like that hobby you loved or catching up with your friends, even settling in for a good TV binge. Suddenly it's just,
Right.
Conversations are on repeat. Your routine feels like Groundhog Day, and there's this like emptiness hanging around.
Yeah. And a lot of people feel that more than you'd think, that sense of like life losing its shine. And it's easy to brush it off like, oh, it's just a slump. I'll snap out of it.
Totally.
But it can be like a sign of something much bigger going on, deeper.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dig into today. Is it just a case of the blahs or something else making life feel so blah, blah? We're going deep, folks, into why we lose that excitement. What's really happening when nothing seems to excite more.
Yeah, and it's not just about figuring out the why, right? We're going to explore how you can actually break through that.
For sure.
How do you reconnect with meaning, with passion, with a real sense of purpose?
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Right. It's not about a quick fix. It's more like uncovering this whole new way of understanding so you can really change how you experience life.
Love that. And to help us navigate this, we're turning to the brilliant Carl Jung.
Oh, yeah.
This guy spent his life trying to get the human experience, and he had some really insightful things to say about this whole feeling disconnected thing.
Right.
He believed that when life feels meaningless, it's not just that you've lost interest. It's like a message straight from your unconscious, like a big neon sign pointing to a disconnect from yourself, from what you really want, from that urge we all have to grow.
Yeah, it's like a wake-up call.
Totally. Okay, so let's unpack this. One of the things that really struck me is how Jung looked at the influence of, society.
Oh, for sure. Societal conditioning.
Yeah.
It's huge. From when we're little, we're bombarded with messages about what makes a good life a happy life.
Right.
And so often it's all about what you achieve, right?
Right.
Good grades, a killer career, tons of money, being that person everyone's following online.
Right.
We're practically programmed to chase this very specific path, like ticking off boxes on a checklist.
It's the recipe for happiness, handed down generation to generation.
Exactly. Like if you just do all these things, you'll be happy, guaranteed.
But what about when you do all the things, you followed the recipe to a T, and you're still left with this emptiness?
Right. Exactly. That's the big question, isn't it? You did what you were told, you achieved it all. And yet...
something's missing.
Yeah. And this is where Jung's perspective is so cool. He said this emptiness, it's not like you failed or something.
Okay, good.
It's not that you messed up by getting those achievements. He saw it more as an invitation, like a little nudge from inside you saying, hey, there's more to life than these surface level rewards. It's time to go on a deeper journey, a journey of self-discovery. He called it individuation.
Individuation.
Yeah. Think of it as finding your own personal definition of feeling truly alive, not the one society hands you.
I like that.
It's like uncovering your true self, peeling back all those layers of expectations and beliefs that other people put on you.
Makes sense. But that's a big journey, right? It's easier to just avoid that whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when that emptiness starts creeping in, the first instinct is to, fill it with more stuff, more hobbies, more shows to watch, plan another trip, anything to feel that spark again.
That's totally normal. It's a resistance, to facing what's really going on. People are afraid of stillness, quiet. Because when things are quiet, when you're not filling the space with distraction, you have to face the stuff that's been lurking underneath.
Right, all this uncomfortable truth we'd rather not deal with. So think about this for a minute, you listening right now. When was the last time you truly felt alive? And I don't mean just kind of entertained or distracted by something new, but truly alive, like deep down.
It's a good question. A lot of people struggle to even remember a time like that.
And if it feels like a distant memory, maybe that's a sign.
Could be. Maybe it means you've outgrown the things that used to define you, like that old version of yourself doesn't fit anymore.
So this feeling of emptiness, we're not saying it's bad. It's not something to be ashamed of.
Not at all. It's actually a sign of something happening inside you. You're growing, changing, evolving.
Like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon.
Exactly. And just like any growth, it can be a little uncomfortable, right? The things that used to feel meaningful might not anymore because something inside you is calling for something more.
More real, more true to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got these external pressures from society and then this internal pull towards something more. I want to unpack that a little bit. What are some of the other forces at play here? The ones we don't always see?
Yeah, it's like this intricate web of things, right? There are your own psychological patterns, the way you think and react, the societal conditioning we talked about, even biological stuff plays a role.
So it's nature and nurture all mixed up.
Totally. And until we realize these things are influencing us, we keep looking for meaning in all the wrong places.
It's like We're looking for our lost keys under the streetlight, not because we lost them there, but because that's where the light.
I love that analogy. And Jung, he didn't see this feeling of emptiness as just some fleeting emotion. He saw it as this important message coming from your deepest self.
Like a smoke signal.
Yeah, like a signal saying, pay attention, something's up. But most of the time, we try to ignore it or drown it out.
With distractions.
Exactly. Scrolling through our phones, binge-watching shows, buying stuff. We don't need anything to quiet that inner voice.
So instead of facing it head on, we run away.
Right. But Jung believed that emptiness comes from this disconnection, like we're cut off from our own inner world.
Okay, so we're disconnected from ourselves.
Exactly. And modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that when people don't have a sense of meaning, they're more likely to feel depressed, anxious, numb.
Our minds crave purpose. That makes sense.
Yeah, and when we ignore that, we feel stuck. You mentioned societal conditioning starting early, and it's a big part of this. Think about how much of childhood is structured, right?
Oh, yeah. School, extracurriculars, the whole 9 yards.
We're rewarded for doing what we're told, for fitting in, for achieving things. Success becomes all about external stuff.
Yeah.
Good grades, trophies, getting into the right college. We build these lives that look great on paper, but inside they can feel empty.
It's like we're building a perfect resume, but forgetting about the person behind it.
And at first, we're so busy we don't even notice the emptiness. But then, like Jung said, cracks start to show.
What kind of cracks?
Well, maybe you don't enjoy your hobbies anymore, or that big goal you were working towards doesn't feel exciting anymore. It's like something's off, but we don't always know what it is.
I've totally felt that. So this moment when we notice the cracks, that's important for Jung.
Huge. He saw it as a turning point. Like this could be the start of a real transformation.
Like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Yes, but only if we face that emptiness, instead of trying to fix it with external stuff. Like a lot of people will jump into a new career or move to a new city or start a new relationship.
I've done some of that myself.
It's totally understandable. But those things might help temporarily, but the real change needs to come from within.
So when it feels like nothing's fun anymore, is that like an identity crisis?
It can be, yeah. It's like you don't connect with the old you, but you haven't figured out the new you yet. You're kind of in between.
Stuck in limbo.
Exactly. And the thing is, to get unstuck, you have to do something most people avoid. Be still.
Just sit there and do nothing in this day and age.
I know, it sounds crazy, right? But stillness forces you to face things. All those desires you've pushed down, emotional stuff you haven't dealt with, your potential that's just waiting to be unleashed. It can be uncomfortable, but Jung believed it's the only way to truly find what matters to you.
It's like looking in the mirror, really looking and seeing yourself for who you are.
Exactly. That's why he was so big on introspection, asking yourself the hard questions.
Give me an example. What kind of questions?
Well, like, who am I? Beyond my job title or what people see on social media, what really lights me up inside, not what I'm supposed to be passionate about, what parts of myself am I avoiding?
Wow, those are deep.
They are. And it can be tough to answer, but they hold the key to unlocking yourself from that feeling of numbness. Jung knew that real meaning. You don't just find it lying around, you have to create it.
Like an artist creating a masterpiece.
Exactly. And the first step is knowing yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you really took the time to explore yourself? Not your career, not your social life, but you. When was the last time you let yourself be curious about something just because you wanted to learn without needing a reason or an outcome? That curiosity, that natural instinct to explore, it's so important. You saw it as something we lose as we get older. We get so caught up in achieving things, fitting in, that we stop exploring both the world and ourselves.
And then we end up stuck in these routines that, while they might feel safe, they're not really fulfilling.
Right. It's like we're trading passion for stability, and it leaves us feeling empty.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, but what about solutions? There's hope here, right?
Absolutely. There's always a way out, a way to find that spark again, to rediscover what makes life feel vibrant and worth living.
Okay.
But it starts with a change in perspective. You have to stop seeing that emptiness as a problem to be fixed and start seeing it as an opportunity, like a doorway to something more.
A doorway to what?
To a deeper, more authentic way of living.
I like the sound of that. So let's say someone's listening and they're like, yep, that's me. Everything feels so dull. What's the first step they can take to start moving towards that more authentic life?
Well, Jung would say those feelings, the dullness, the repetition, that's the starting point.
Okay.
It's your inner self nudging you towards change, toward that individuation process we talked about. But the hard part is getting past the resistance. Yeah, we cling to our old identities, our habits, even when they're not working for us anymore. We're scared of change, even if staying the same hurts.
We'd rather stay in a leaky boat than risk swimming to shore.
Perfect analogy. And the truth is, when life feels empty, it's usually not because there's nothing to enjoy, but because we've outgrown the things we used to enjoy.
Like clothes we've outgrown.
Exactly. We need to shed that old skin, those old beliefs, those routines, to make space for something new to grow.
It's like a snake shedding its skin.
Exactly. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth.
So when we feel like something's off, it's not necessarily bad.
Not at all. It could be a sign that you're ready for something more, a deeper, more fulfilling way of being. But we often misinterpret that feeling and try to fix it with external things.
New job, new city, new relationship.
Right, and those things might help for a bit, but the real change needs to come from inside. That's why it's so important to spend time with yourself without distraction.
Quiet time. In our world of constant noise and notification.
I know, it's a radical idea, right? But ask yourself, how often do you actually create space for stillness? How often do you really think about what you want deep down, not what you're supposed to want? Most people rarely do.
We're so used to being plugged in, constantly stimulated.
Exactly. We're overloaded with information, entertainment, instant gratification, and it keeps our minds busy, but it doesn't necessarily nourish our souls.
We're full of stuff, but starving for meaning.
Yes, and Jung warned about it. He believed that true fulfillment comes from inner transformation, not from chasing external things. The more we ignore our need for meaning, purpose, self-expression, the more disconnected we become. And that's why nothing feels fun anymore.
So how do we turn that around? How do we reconnect with ourselves and what truly matters?
By taking action. If disconnection is the problem, then reconnection is the solution. It's about reconnecting with your inner world, with what makes you feel alive, with what gives you a sense of purpose.
Give me some specifics. What can people actually do?
Okay, first, create space for stillness. Make time for it, even just a few minutes a day.
So just sit there.
Pretty much. Observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Don't try to do anything. Just be. You'd be surprised what comes up when you give yourself that space.
Okay, what else?
Explore and do it without expectation. We're so used to thinking everything has to be productive, but sometimes you need to just follow your curiosity, even if it leads nowhere.
So try new things just for the fun of it.
Yes. Read a book on a random topic, try a new hobby, whatever sparks your interest. That sense of playfulness is so important for rediscovering what lights you up.
I love that. Anything else?
Think about your path. Remember times when you felt truly joyful, engaged?
Good times.
Yes. What were you doing? What made you feel that way? Maybe there's a way to bring those things back into your life, even in a small way.
Like reconnecting with an old friend.
Exactly. And lastly, embrace change. If you're feeling disconnected, it might mean you're ready to evolve.
But change can be scary.
I know, but it's also exciting. Be open to questioning your beliefs, your priorities, your vision of what your life should be. That willingness to change is key to finding a more fulfilling way of being.
So we're creating stillness, exploring, remembering our joys, and embracing change. That's a lot to take in. What if someone tries all that and still feels lost?
That's a great question. And it leads us to one of Jung's most powerful insights about meaning.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You don't find meaning, you create it. So many people spend their lives searching for meaning like it's some hidden treasure up.
Like the Holy Grail.
Exactly. They think if they just find the right job, the right passion, the right purpose, then boom, life will be meaningful.
But that's not how it works.
Not really. Because meaning isn't a thing you find, it's an experience you create.
Okay, explain that a little more.
Jung believed that the goal of life is individuation, which is about becoming a whole person, integrating all parts of yourself. And that wholeness comes from being true to yourself, not from chasing external things. When you align your life with your true nature, that's when it becomes meaningful. So if you're feeling uninspired, the question isn't where do I find meaning, but how do I bring meaning into what I do? That's the real shift.
So instead of looking for meaning outside ourselves, we create it from within.
Exactly. It's about actively infusing your life with purpose.
Okay, how do we do that? Give me some practical tips.
One way is through deep engagement. In today's world, we're so used to skimming, scrolling, multitasking that we rarely fully engage with anything.
We're constantly distracted.
Right. And when we're distracted, we miss out on the joy of being fully present.
Being in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. When was the last time you did something with your full attention, whether it's reading a book, having a conversation, or just enjoying nature?
I know I'm guilty of multitasking way too much.
It's so common. But when you're truly present, that's when you experience flow. And flow is linked to happiness and fulfillment.
It's like the difference between just eating a meal and really savoring every bite.
Perfect analogy. Another way to create meaning is through service, contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Helping others.
Yes. When we focus too much on ourselves, we can feel empty. But when we connect with something beyond our own needs, It gives us purpose. It doesn't have to be huge. Even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
It's about shifting our focus outward.
Exactly. And finally, Jung believed it's important to face those hidden parts of ourselves, the ones we tend to avoid.
The shadow self.
Yes. It's those fears, those emotions, those desires that we've pushed down. But they don't go away. They just create unease. To be truly whole, we need to acknowledge and integrate those parts.
How do we do that?
Self-reflection, therapy, journaling. These can help. By bringing those hidden parts into the light, we reclaim them and become more complete.
So it's like embracing all parts of ourselves, the good and the bad.
Exactly. And when you're whole, life feels more meaningful.
So this feeling that nothing is fun anymore, it's not the end of the story, is it?
Not at all. It's actually beginning. It's a sign that you're ready for something more, something deeper, something more authentic.
It's a call to evolve.
Exactly. To shed the old and embrace the new.
To step into a more meaningful version of ourselves.
Yes. And it requires us to be active participants in our own transformation. Meaning doesn't just happen to us. We have to create it.
So for everyone listening who's feeling stuck in a rut, what's one thing they can do right now to start creating more meaning in their life?
Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to engage more deeply with my life? Where can I bring more presence, more intention, more meaning? It could be anything from paying attention during a conversation to taking a walk in nature and really appreciating the beauty around you.
It's about bringing intention and awareness to every moment.
Exactly, because meaning isn't out there waiting for us to find it.
It's within us, waiting to be created.
Exactly. You have the power to make your life mean starting right now.